I know, I'm really sorry, Ellie. I know what's in these. But I know you bought me some tabs for uni. Oh wait. Oh, these are the blue ones. These are blue. I really wanted to get these ones. Hang on. 3 more books to show you from this pile. I have a manga, volume 1, of Call of the Night by Kotoyama. I'm sorry if I butchered the hell out of that. This one, Nish actually told me to read first before any of the other books. So, I'm back. Hello my Rose Petals and welcome back, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel, A Rose Between Pages. Rosie here, well, future Rosie, because I'm on sprints right now, and I just wanted to do a actual intro, because I just went into the intro and was just like, oh, it's my birthday. Didn't say that I was doing a haul. So, welcome to my birthday book haul. You will see me talking about loads of books in this, and there's a couple of unboxings from my best friends Ellie and Chloe. And the first clip, I am on video call with my other best friend Jamie. So, yeah, apologies for any chaoticness, but this is actually going to be very chaotic as this video, so stay tuned. Hello my Rose Petals and welcome back. If you're new here, welcome to my channel, Rose Between Pages. Rosie here, currently on video call with my best friend Jamie, and it is my birthday. I'm 22 today, so sorry for the high voice. I am very excited in this clip. So that's fun. And I have no idea what's going on. I don't know what's planned. Josh has planned it. I have 2 parcels here. I think one of these is from Ellie. I've accidentally seen what's in this because Josh opened it like this. And it fell out of the bloody closet, so I've already seen what's in here, so I'm really, really sorry, Ellie. And then, I know this one's a notebook, but I have no idea what's in this. I'm intrigued, so let's open these. I know, I'm really sorry, Ellie, I know what's in these. But I know you bought me some tabs for uni. Oh wait, oh, these are the blue ones. These are blue. I really wanted to get these ones. As you can tell, my ADHD here is on a roll. Hang on. Obviously there will be more in this haul, like I have 35 books to show you at the minute. Which is fucking insane, like that. Blue and purple. And blue. Ah, yay! I'm excited to use these for my uni work. So yeah. And she bought me highlighters. This is actually my first set of highlighters that I've ever got. I've never owned any highlighters in my life. Nope, I had gel pens. I never had highlighters. I had gel pens. Who's this from?
You know how I am about all that sort of stuff.
I don't know who this is from, but Ellie thinks it's from her. Just gonna say, if this is from Ellie, thank you so much, Ellie. She hopes it's from her. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. The random little noises that come out of you sometimes.
Struggling. Oh.
The struggling noises.
Oh, and there's no note. Oh, this is like a really organized notepad. Absolutely love the colours of this. It's stunning. I think this is from Ellie. If so, thank you for the stationery, Ellie, and thank you for the notebook. I appreciate it so much. Yay. So, like I said, this haul is going to be like a little bit hectic. So, we're now on the 31st, which is the day after my birthday. And I have 11 books to show you right now. So, we bought these 4 yesterday. And then we bought these today. Yesterday we went to go see Oppenheimer and I really enjoyed it, but the only thing is I have sensory issues due to my ADHD. So sometimes it was really, really loud for me. It was way too loud for me and it kept getting a little bit too much for me, so I couldn't cope sometimes. But I really enjoyed the film. So we're going to start with one of Josh's books, and this is Immortal Longings by Chloe Gold. We love the fact that there's like foiling on the light bulbs. I don't know if you can see it. And then yellow sprayed edges, beautiful sprayed edges. It says at the back, tear down a lover, rebuild the kingdom. And then in foiling, it has 57 at the top and 86 at the bottom. Oh, you can see them. Okay. We have no idea what that means, but I think we'll find out through the book. So, every year, thousands flock to Santa, the dangerously dense capital twin cities of the Kingdom of Talon, where the palace hosts a set of deadly games. Those confident in their ability to jump between bodies can enter a fight to the death for the chance to win unimaginable riches. Princess Calla Tuolini has been in hiding for 5 years, ever since she murdered her parents to free the people of Talon from her tyrannical family. Only one person stands in her way of finishing the job, her reclusive uncle, King Kazza. However, she knows he always greets the victor of the games. If she wins, she will finally get the chance to kill him. Enter Anton Makuska, whose childhood love has lain in a coma since they were both ousted from the palace. He's deep in debt trying to keep her alive, which means his last chance at saving her is entering the games and winning. When Anton proposes an unexpected alliance with Calla, they quickly find their partnership spiraling into something all-consuming. But before the games close, Calla must decide what she's playing for, her lover or her kingdom, for no matter what, only one of them can walk out alive. Now, this sounds like a Hunger Games sort of thing, and I can see why Josh picked this up because it sounds really, really interesting. So, you have this red book, and then I love the fact that you have the samurai, and then inside you actually have character art. How gorgeous is that? I think the back page is just as beautiful. Like, it's stunning, and it is signed by Chloe Gong herself. So Josh is really, really looking forward to that. Then we have my three. I asked Josh to pick out any random horror for me because I'm very indecisive when it comes to book shopping, and I wanted something new. I wanted like a new author and I wanted a new horror. So he got me this book called Kill All Angels by Robert Brockway. And basically, because I've read the blurb to see what it's about, this is basically like a rock band horror story. And I find that really, really interesting because I don't know anyone who's written a rock band horror story. So, Harry and Randall get to LA's Chinatown in the early 1980s just as the punk scene is starting there. But it's not all cheap guitars and back alley bars. The empty ones have set up shop in LA too. A deceptively young, shockingly brutal Chinese girl with silver hair runs things here, watched by a former lover Zhang, who might be the best ally Harry and Randall had ever had. If he doesn't eat the both of them first. Caitlin is also back in LA with powers she barely understands and something you might call a plan. If you are feeling particularly generous, if she can find one specific angel here and kill it, she might just set off a chain reaction that will bring all the angels down for good. Someone's actually like compared this band to the Sex Pistols, like, and H.P. Lovecraft apparently, so I'm really interested in this. American Gods by Neil Gaiman. This was literally £1 at the charity shop, as well as The Secret Keeper by Kate Morton at the charity shop. these two were from Waterstones. So, Neil Gaiman, American Gods. I don't know what this is about, but I've seen people say that the TV show is really, really good. Prepared to believe, locked behind bars for 3 years, Shadow did his time quietly waiting for the day when he could return to Eagle Point, Indiana. A man no longer scared of what tomorrow might bring. All he wanted was to be with Laura, the wife he deeply loved, and start a new life. But just days before his release, Laura and Shadow's best friend are killed in an accident. With his life in pieces and nothing to keep him tethered, Shadow accepts a job from a beguiling stranger he meets on the way home. An enigmatic man who calls himself Mr. Wednesday. A trickster and a rogue, Wednesday seems to know more about Shadow than Shadow does himself. Life as Wednesday's bodyguard, driver, and errand boy is far more interesting and dangerous than Shadow ever imagined. Soon, Shadow learns that the past never dies, and that beneath the placid surface of everyday life a storm is brewing. An epic war for the very soul of America, and that he's standing squarely in its path. That sounds really interesting. I also love the fact that the character is called Shadow. Go on to The Secret Keeper by Kate Morton. I bought this because I already have something from this author. I think it's called The Forgotten Garden, and I think it's at my auntie's house in Spain. Like, it's beautiful. I have realised with Kate Morton, a lot of her covers have nature on them, and it's fucking gorgeous. 1961. On a sweltering summer's day, while her family picnics by the stream on their Suffolk farm, 16-year-old Laurel hides out in her childhood treehouse, dreaming of the bright future she can't wait to seize. But before the idyllic afternoon is over, Laurel will have witnessed a shocking crime that changes everything. 2011. Now a much-loved actress, Laurel finds herself overwhelmed by shades of the past, haunted by memories and the mystery of what she saw that day. She returns to her family home and begins to piece together a secret history. A tale of three strangers from vastly different worlds, Dorothy, Vivian, and Jimmy, who were brought together by chance in wartime London, and whose lives become fiercely and fatefully entwined. Before I carry on with the other pile, I have a parcel to open, and I'm pretty sure this is from Chloe, because she did let me know that this was arriving today, and I wasn't here for it, so open it up. Oh god. Very much wrapped. Very much wrapped.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we also have book bundle thing. Oh my gosh. So we have Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson as a paperback. And then we also got The Shadow Cabinet by Juno Dawson in hardback.
Is it a series?
Yeah.
Oh.
The third one is coming out at some point.
She's sent you a full series so far. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Full series so
Yeah,
far,
yeah.
because we're gonna thingy. Sorry, I didn't mean to say thingy. I meant to say we're gonna buddy read it.
Oh.
So hidden among us is a secret coven of witches. Known as Her Majesty's Royal Coven, they protect crown and country from magical forces and otherworldly evil. But their greatest enemy will come from within. There are whisperings of a prophecy that will bring the coven to its knees, and four best friends are about to be caught at the centre. Life as a modern witch was never simple, but now it's about to get apocalyptic.
You're gonna like the look of the book.
So, yeah, I'm not going to read the blurb out of this because this is the second one, so I don't want to spoil it for me or for anybody. It's full black, it's white, and the end pages are yellow, which is a nice touch to it. Really, really nice. This is another bloody witchy book that I have now. Thank you so much, Chloe. I know this is from you anyways, because you said you were going to get me the series so far, and then you said that we was going to buddy read the third one, so thank you so much for these two. I really appreciate you for it. So, we have 7 books to show. We have The Soul Drinkers Omnibus number 2, which is Josh's, because he has the first one. I'm staring right at it. Book of Night by Holly Black, because Josh took interest in this and I've seen this circling around. It says inside, even your shadow can be stolen. Sally Hall has never found a lock she couldn't pick, a book she couldn't steal, or a bad decision she wouldn't make. She spent half her life working for glow-mists, magicians who manipulate shadows and guard their secrets greedily, creating an underground economy of grimoires. But to rob their fellow magicians, they need Charlie. Now, she's trying to distance herself from past mistakes, but going straight isn't easy. When a terrible figure from her past returns, Charlie descends back into a maelstrom of murder and lies. Determined to survive, she's up against a cast of doppelgangers, mercurial billionaires, glow-mists, and the people she loves best in the world, all trying to steal a secret that will allow them control of the Shadow World and more. I'm intrigued. Luminaries by Susan Dennard. I love this cover. Hemlock Falls isn't like other towns. You won't find it on a map, your phone won't work here, and the forest outside town might kill you. Winnie Wednesday wants nothing more than to join the Luminaries, the ancient order that protects humanity from the nightmares that rise in the forest of Hemlock Falls each night. Ever since her father was exposed as a traitor, Winnie and her family have been shunned. But on her 16th birthday, she can take the deadly Luminary hunter trials and restore her family's good name or die trying. In order to survive, Winnie must enlist the help of the one person who can train her, Jay Friday, resident bad boy and Winnie's ex-best friend. While Jay may be the best hunter in Hemlock Falls, he also knows more about the forest's nightmares than he should, and together he and Winnie will discover a danger lurking in Hemlock Falls that no one is prepared for. Not all monsters can be slain, and not all nightmares are confined to the dark. Then I asked Josh for another horror, and he got me The City of Dr. Moreau by J.S. Barnes. H.G. Wells, The Island of Dr. Moreau. A shipwrecked traveller finds himself alone on an island ruled by a mad doctor and inhabited by creatures who are at once both beast and human. He escapes, but that's only the beginning of the story. The City of Dr. Moreau is a sprawling history of the islanders and an alternative vision of our own times, spanning more than a century, crisscrossing across numerous places and many lives. We witness the growth of Moreau's legacy, from Gothic experiments to an event which changes the world, from the depths of Victorian London to a boarding house with an inhuman resident to an assassin on a 20th century train, ordered to kill the one man who knows truth. We follow secret skirmishes and hidden plots which emerge, eventually and violently, into the open. So I have 3 more books to show you from this pile. I have a manga, Volume 1, of Call of the Night by Kotoyama. I'm sorry if I butchered the hell out of that. It caught my eye. Nazuna is a vampire. That's okay with human Ko, he wants to be one too. But transformation doesn't come that easily. One sleepless night, Ko slips out to walk the streets. Life after dark is a revelation. When flirtatious Nazuna invites Ko to spend the night at her place in an abandoned building, he's stoked. But then he awakens to kisses on his neck with a little too much bites to them. Is it just the delicious taste of his blood that makes her meet him night after night for late night adventures, conversation and naps? Or something else? Then when a cute girl from Ko's past shows up and competes for his attention, his budding relationship with the undead is put to the test. We have this beautiful thing called 6 Crimson Cranes. I wanted Daughter of the Moon Goddess, but unfortunately Waterstones didn't have it in. Annoyingly, they got Daughter of the Moon Goddess in the day after I got fucking paid, which was annoying because I had spent most of my money on books. So I bought this by Elizabeth Lim. The Princess in Exile, 6 Enchanted Cranes, An Unspeakable Curse. Princess Shiorianma has a secret. Forbidden magic runs in her veins until she loses control on the morning of her unwanted betrothal and is discovered by her stepmother, Reikima. A sorcerer in her own right, Reikima banishes Shiori, transforming her brothers into cranes and warning her that she must speak of it to no one, for with every word that escapes her lips, one of her brothers will die. But as Shiori searches for her brothers, she uncovers a dark conspiracy to seize the throne. To save her kingdom, she must place her trust in a paper bird, a mercurial dragon, and the boy she fought so hard not to marry. And she must embrace the magic she's been taught all her life to contain, no matter what it costs. This is Josh's last book, but I really wanted this one. I think my friend Chloe bought this one. Chloe, I know you're watching this. I got confused with The Book That Wouldn't Burn and The Lost Bookshop because I knew you bought something to do with a book. It's called The Book That Wouldn't Burn by Mark Lawrence. It says at the back, all books, no matter their binding, will fall to dust. The stories they carry may last longer. They might outlive the paper, the library, even the language in which they were first written. The greatest story can reach the stars. Ever has lived his whole life trapped within a vast library, older than empires and larger than cities. Nivira has spent hers in a tiny settlement out on the dust where no one goes and nightmares stalk. The world has never noticed them. That's about to change. And it is black with gold. Those are the books that we've bought and what I've just got in a box for the past 2 days. Like I said, this haul is going to be very all over the place. So I've got a lot of books to show you now, and I decided to do this on Wednesday, the possible day that this might be going out. Yay. So let's just jump right in. We have The Girls by Lisa Jewell. You like your neighbours, so why don't you feel safe? You live on a communal garden square where your children run free. You've known your neighbours for years and you trust them implicitly. You think your children are safe. But are they really? Midsummer night and a girl is found unconscious in a dark corner of the garden. What happened to her and who is responsible? Twice Burned by Kit Craig. No blurb on that. Black Notice by Patricia Como. No blurb on that one. Ben by Kerry Needham. Missing since 1991, his mother's heartbreaking story of endurance and hope. It's amazing how some people can light up a room just by stepping into it. Ben was 21 months old and full of smiles. He spread happiness simply by being there. In 1991, Kerry and her son Ben followed Kerry's parents to live on the Greek island of Kos. On 24th July, she was at work when her mum, Christine, arrived crying uncontrollably. Ben had been playing outside and then disappeared. Someone had taken Ben. In her heartbreaking memoir, Kerry describes the agony of being initially suspected by the police, which meant the closure of airport and ferry terminals were delayed. The early sightings that raised their hopes and hoaxes which dashed them completely. And the unbearable pain of knowing her baby boy was out alone somewhere without his mum. Back in the UK, the long years of waiting and hoping had been difficult on the whole family. Kerry has raised her daughter Liana while following up more than 300 leads. In 2011, they had a breakthrough when South Yorkshire police agreed to work with the Greek authorities to reopen the case. The chance that Ben will read about himself and come home becomes more real every day. I'm looking forward to that because it's based off a true story. These two my niece gave me, mine and Josh's niece gave me. This is Fairest Fall by Serena Valentino, and it's part of the Twisted Disney series. I have majority of these are my sister's dad's. And then she thought this one was, but it's not. This is The Darkest Unicorn by Alice Hemming. So let's start with Fairest of All. How did the wicked queen become so evil? When the king asks for her hand in marriage, the beautiful daughter of a cruel mirror maker accepts, hoping her fortunes will change for the better. But will they? This is the untold tale of love, loss, and dark magic behind the classic story of Snow White. The Darkest Unicorn. Not all unicorns are good. If you think all unicorns are good, then you're wrong. In the usually peaceful kingdom of Ascender, people are going missing, and when Fandy is startled by a strange boy one night, she instantly questions whether he's someone she can trust. Little does she know that this meeting will force her life wildly off track, pushing her towards an unexpected danger and a fearsome unicorn who's at the very heart of the mysterious disappearances she's heard so much about. And we have Something Wicked by Kerry Wilkinson. There's nothing worse than watching your child walk out the front door, never to return. Nicholas Carr disappeared on his 18th birthday and the world has moved on. His girlfriend is at university, his friends now have jobs, and the police are busy dealing with the usual gallery of thieves and drunks. But his father, Richard, can't forget the three fingers the police dug up from a sodden Manchester wood. What happened to Nicholas on the night he disappeared, and why did he never return home? Private investigator is Richard's last hope, but Andrew Hunter has his own problems. There's something about his assistant that isn't quite right. Jenny's brilliant but reckless, and he can't figure out what she gets from working for him. By the time he discovers who's a danger and who's not, it might all be too late. The Lost Girl by Heather Young. This reminds me of The House Across the Lake. A decades-old mystery of a missing 6-year-old haunts the family for generations. In 1935, 6-year-old Emily Evans vanished forever from her family's summer house on a remote Minnesota lake. 60 years later, Lucy, Emily's quiet and watchful older sister, lives alone in the lake house. When Lucy dies, she leaves the house to her grandniece, Justine. The lake house offers Justine an escape from her manipulative boyfriend and a chance to give her daughters the home she never had. With the discovery of a notebook in which her great-aunt has written the story of that devastating summer, forces Justine to realize there may be more to her inheritance than she first imagined. In a house haunted by the sorrows of the women who came before her, Justine must overcome their tragic legacy as she hopes to save herself and her children. That kind of reminds me of like Lighthouse Witches and Wayward. 4th of July Creek by Smith Henderson. Camille Montana. By day, social worker Pete Snow attempts to improve the lives of the town's most deprived families. By night, he endeavours to repair his own life and the lives of his estranged wife and daughter. After trying to help Benjamin Pearl, an undernourished and nearly feral 11-year-old boy living in the wilderness, Pete comes face to face with the boy's profoundly disturbed father, Jeremiah, a conspiracy theorist who reserves the Old Testament and believes in the coming end times. Slowly, Pete begins to earn Jeremiah's trust and is drawn into his solitary world. As Pete's own family spins out of control, Jeremiah's activities spark the interest of the police, putting Pete at the centre of a massive manhunt from which no one will emerge unscathed. Troubled Blood by Robert Galbraith. Private Detective Cormoran Strike is visiting his family in Cornwall when he is approached by a woman asking for help finding her mother, Margot Bambara, who went missing in mysterious circumstances in 1974. Strike has never tackled a cold case before, but intrigued, he takes it on, adding to the long list of cases that he and his partner in the agency, Robin Ellicott, are currently investigating. Plus, the pair are still battling their feelings for one another, while Robin is also juggling a messy divorce and unwanted male attention. Strike and Robin soon find themselves up against a fiendishly complex case with leads that include tarot cards, a psychopathic serial killer, and witnesses who can't all be trusted. And they learn that even cases decades old can prove to be deadly. Sorry, needed a drink break. The Crow Girl by Eric Axel Sand. And it's got blue sprayed edges. It starts with just one body, the hands bound, the skin covered in marks. Detective Superintendent Jeanette Kilberg is determined to find out who's responsible. Despite opposition from her superiors, when 2 more bodies are discovered, it becomes clear that she's hunting the serial killer. With a career on the line, Kilberg turns to psychotherapist Sophia Zetterlund. Together they expose a chain of shocking events that began decades ago. But will it lead them to the murderer before someone else dies? The Death of Mrs. Westaway by Ruth Ware. Every family has its secrets. This is the one that actually started Josh's sister off by giving me the books. When Harriet Westaway receives an unexpected letter telling her she's inherited a substantial bequest from her Cornish grandmother, it seems like the answer to her prayers. There's just one problem. Hal's real grandparent died more than 20 years ago. Hal desperately needs the cash and makes a choice that will change her life forever. She knows that her skills as a seaside fortune teller could help her con her way to getting the money. But once Hal embarks on her deception, there's no going back. She must keep going or risk losing everything, even her life. Allegation by R.G. Adams. It's his word against theirs. A scandal will shake a small community to its very foundations. 2 women have come forward to make historical sexual allegations against a pillar of the local community, Matthew Cooper. The case lands on the desk of inexperienced social worker Kit Goddard, who must remove Cooper from his home and family while the investigation is carried out. Kit finds herself navigating the local minefield of connections and class reputations, and rumour. Unsure whether her interference is a heroic intervention or a hurtful intrusion, she knows one thing: it will have an impact. The question is whether this impact will be to expose a lie or destroy an innocent life. 19th Christmas by James Patterson and Maxine Patero. This is part of the Woman's Murder Club thrillers. I'm not going to read this out because it's part of the series. It's the 19th in the series. Josh's sister Nish actually said that this was a witchy one, so I'm really looking forward to this. The Rules of Magic by Alice Hoffman. I'm pretty sure I've heard of Alice Hoffman before. Know that for our family, love is a curse. From the beginning, Susanna Owens knew her 3 children were unique. Franny with her blood red hair who can commune with birds. Jet, shy and beautiful, who knows what others are thinking. And Vincent, too charismatic for his own good. Susanna needed to get some rules of magic. No walking in the moonlight, no red shoes, and certainly, absolutely, no books about magic. And yet, despite the warning handed down through the family for centuries that love will be their undoing, the Owens siblings will break every one of these rules and discover who they truly are. That actually sounds right up my street. Close by Martina Cole. The Man Who Died Twice, Richard Osman. I'm actually looking forward to reading this, but I want to try and get the others before reading this series. Dead Man's Time by Peter James. Some will wait a lifetime to take their revenge. A vicious robbery at a secluded Brighton mansion leaves its elderly occupant dying, and millions of pounds worth of valuables have been stolen. But as Detective Superintendent Roy Grace, heading the inquiry, rapidly learns there's one priceless item of sentimental value that the old woman's powerful family cherish above all else. And they are fully prepared to take the law into their own hands and will do anything, absolutely anything, to get it back. Within days, Grace is racing against the clock following a murderous trial that leads him from the shady antiques world of Brighton across Europe and all the way back to the New York waterfront gang struggles of 1922, chasing a killer driven by the force of one man's greed and another man's fury. Looking forward to that. We have the first half of the Rivers of London series by Ben Aronovich. No idea why I sounded French here, but sorry if I butchered it. Rivers of London, Moon Over Soho, Whispers Underground, and Broken Home. I'll need to get the other 4. I used to be a probationary constable in that mighty army for justice known to all right-thinking people as the Metropolitan Police Service. Just a warning, guys. The sounds that you hear in the background in a minute, right? They are Josh watching his anime. And to everyone else as a filth. Meet PC Peter Grant. He will show you his city, but it's not the capital that you all see as you make your way from tube to bus, from elephant to castle. It's a city that under its dark surface is packed full of crime and of magic. A city that you never suspected. Grant's story starts when he tries to take a witness statement from a man who was already dead and takes him down a twisting, turning, centuries-old mystery that reckons to set modern London on fire. Then we have another Martina Cole, which is called Faces, a Terry Pratchett. My first Terry Pratchett, called Fudd. The Invisible Girl by Peter Barham. I'm pretty sure this is a true crime because there's pictures in the front. I think there's some at the back. Yep. Then we have another witchy one, which is called The Familiars by Stacey Halls. I love this cover. In a time of suspicion and accusation, to be a woman is the greatest risk of all. Lancashire, 1612, Fleetwood Shuttleworth is 17 years old, married and pregnant for the 4th time. But as mistress at Garthorpe Hall, she still has no living child, and her husband Richard is anxious for an heir. Then she crosses paths by chance with Alice Gray, a young midwife who promises to help her give birth to a healthy baby. When Alice is drawn into the witchcraft accusations that are sweeping the northwest, Fleetwood risks everything by trying to help her. As the legendary Pendle witch trials approach and Fleetwood's stomach continues to grow, time is running out and both their lives are at stake. I love anything to do with Pendle witches, so I'm looking forward to that. Trial and Retribution by Linda LaPlante. There will be a verdict, but will justice be done? the unmissable legal thriller from the legendary Linda LaPlante. It's every mother's nightmare, her missing daughter found murdered, her lover the prime suspect. It's every police officer's fear, a child murdered, the evidence circumstantial. It's every rookie solicitor's dream, a high-profile case, an opportunity to shine. 12 men and women will decide the verdict, but only you can decide if justice is done for the victim. And we have another Linda LaPlante called Buried. It says some things should remain buried. A burnt-out cottage, a fortune buried in the ashes, a body that could solve a decades-old crime. DC Jack Waugh and his girlfriend Maggie have just moved to London to start a new life together. Though charming, Jack can't seem to find his place in the world until he's drawn into an investigation that turns his life upside down. In the aftermath of a fire at an isolated cottage, a badly charred body is discovered, along with the burnt remains of millions of stolen, untraceable banknotes. Jack's search leads him deep into a murky criminal underworld, a world he finds himself surprisingly good at navigating. But as the line of the law becomes blurred, how far will Jack go to find the answers, and what will it cost him? This is Haunted by James Patterson and James L. Vaughan. Far from home, far too close to danger. You could take Michael Bennett out of New York City, but you can't take the cop out of Michael Bennett. Detective Michael Bennett is ready for a vacation after a series of crises push him and his family to the brink. He settled on an idyllic small town in the beautiful Maine woods, but just when Bennett thinks he can relax, he gets pulled into a case that has shocked the tight-knit community. Kids are disappearing with no explanation until several bodies turn up in the woods. Far from the city streets he knows so well, Bennett is fighting to protect the town, the law, and the family that he loves above all else. The Strange Diaries by Ellie Griffiths. Death lies behind the words. This is what the police know. English teacher Claire Cassidy's friend Ella has just been murdered. Claire and Ella had recently fallen out. Found beside the body was a line from The Stranger, a story by the Gothic writer Claire teaches, and the murder scene is identical to one of the deaths in the story. This is what Claire knows. No one else was aware of her fight with Ella. Few others have even read The Stranger. Someone has wormed their way into her life and her work. They know her darkest secrets, and they don't mean well. This is what the killer knows. Who will be next to die? In the Cold Dark Ground by Stuart McBride. Trouble is coming. Sergeant Logan McRae's team find the body dumped in the woods, but it's the missing businessman they've been searching for, or something far more sinister. It doesn't help that his ex-boss is taking over the case. A new superintendent has it in for him, and professional standards are looming. Even worse, Aberdeen's criminal overlord, wee Hamish Mowat, is dying, and rival gangs all over the UK are eyeing his territory. There's a war brewing, and Logan's trapped right in the middle, whether he likes it or not. Last 4 books to show you guys. Again, apologies, I didn't realise how bad the lighting was in this clip. Condemned by R.C. Bridgestock. A fire at an old manor reveals 2 corpses in the crime decades in the making. When Yorkshire DI Charlie Man receives what seems to be a routine call-out prior to its demolition, an arsonist has targeted a deserted manor house. But something isn't right. When the remains of 2 bodies are discovered concealed inside, it soon emerges they were murdered decades apart. Amongst the ashes, Charlie is soon drawn into a web of deceit and violent plots. The ghosts of the past can be all too real. Face them at your peril, because what goes around comes around. Unravel Me by Tahira Mafi. I'm sorry if I butchered that. This is part of the Shatter Me series. I'm not sure which one this is. Unravel Me is the second one. And this is the second one. I'm not going to read this out. And then this is I'm Spiritual, Damn It by Jennifer Weigel. How to keep your feet on the ground and your head in the stars. She gave me this because, obviously, I told her I love anything pagan, because I am a pagan, and she decided to give me this. Whether you're a true believer, a hardened cynic, or a little bit both, join Jennifer Weigel and the quirky characters she meets on her fabulously funny and thought-provoking spiritual adventure through everyday life. Whether she's interviewing celebrities on TV or encountering the spirit of her dead father who keeps appearing in the guise of a cardinal, a bird, and not a prelate, Jennifer Weigel maintains a zest for learning, living, and loving. This book is one woman's attempt to deal with life's daily whirlwinds, the stuff that happens and as we are carried along. Jennifer shares with us the common sense rules she's discovered for developing a sane and satisfying interior life. Beware of preachers with mullets, always talk to dead people, don't take it personally, it's not about you. How to not get lost in the guru. Weagle's high-spirited stories illustrate core life principles and convey an immediacy and energy that readers will find inspiring. The last book, this one, Nish actually told me to read first before any of the other books, so I might do actually. And this is The House in the Witch's Wood by Miles Dan. As a boy, James Roxburgh discovered a set of keys for a property in Scottish borders known as Witchwood House that once belonged to his family, house long forgotten. Years later, he unexpectedly inherits the house and after restoring the property to its former glory, decides to live there. When his friends visit the house, they find him a shadow of his former self. His frequent absences raising concerns for his welfare. Suspicions grow that something happened to the previous owners of the house, James's great uncle and his wife, and it's not long before they learn of their fate. A fate that has implications not only for James but his friends too. The discovery of an ancient manuscript that links the past to the present leads them to realise that having entered the house in the Witch's Wood, their lives will never be the same again. That is my birthday haul. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up and comment below which of these books you want to see in a reading vlog, and I'll happily do it. Choose 3 of them, 3 to 5 of them please, and I'll happily do a reading vlog involving those books. Stay luscious, guys. Bye.